All right, what do we got next on tap, Jesse?
I think it's Rain.
Rain, yes.
What is this one about?
This one here, it is based on a short story written by Joe Hill. Jesse, inform everybody who Joe Hill is.
Joe Hill is a comic book writer. No, I'm just kidding. He's the son of Stephen King, and he's been doing a lot of work in comic books. He had his what was it, Hill House of Horror?
Yep.
Come out last year with a Basket Full of Heads. Refrigerator Full of Heads just started coming out.
The sequel.
The sequel. What else did he have? I can't remember. The Plunge, I think, was another.
The Plunge. Yep. There's a whole bunch. He's got a whole line of horror comics out at DC Comics, and so now he's jumping over into Image, and this one is an adaptation of a short story, like I mentioned. Now, I did not know that going in, and to be 100% frank with you, I'm not a super fan of adapting novels or short stories to comic books, but since I didn't know about that short story and haven't read it, this one I was pleasantly surprised on, and I think a lot of that had to do with the art. It's pretty cool. Like, I really like how they've put these kind of like the textures. I don't know, Jesse, you're more of an art guy, but I really like how the patterns on the dress and the pattern on the blanket and stuff, and those type of things are all throughout the book, and it's just a clean looking comic book, and it's very kind of interesting. So these are our two main characters, or we think they're going to be our two main characters, and yeah, something tragic happens to them, and something really, really strange. The book is called Rain, and there is an event that happens in which shards of crystal rain down, and literally, if you were outside, you are dead. And it was kind of like this horrific thing with this rain just comes down, and our main character Honeysuckle, which is kind of a really weird kind of name, I thought, and she has to watch her the love of her life, be basically rained and impaled as they were going to move in together. So it's kind of a tragic beginning to this tale, and we'll see where that goes.
Now, which character is Honeysuckle? Just out of curiosity.
Honeysuckle is the girl on the left there. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, because when you said Honeysuckle, I thought it was the girl on the right, because her dress is kind of like a honeysuckle color, right? Like
yeah.
Honey's yellow and orangey. Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. And I think we got another image where she's just literally like, if you guys can see this panel, maybe we'll make it full screen here. Yeah, and she's talking to one of her neighbors, and this particular neighbor, he's a cute kid. He thinks he's a vampire, but that's because he's got an ailment that doesn't allow him to be outside. So she's taking him back into his garage, and that's the only reason she is not outside when this, and you could see she steps outside and something pricks her, and she pulls it out, and it's this shard of crystal, and it falls, and literally the next couple pages, I didn't want to show them because they are a little bit graphic, and it's just like, yeah, just people doing their daily things, and they're getting impaled and stuff. And I guess as the story goes, this is going to be a kind of like a weather system that starts in one part of the states and it's moving across. So they're going to talk about, I guess, the ramifications of that. So yeah, a pretty interesting book. There was a little bit of buzz about it, but wasn't quite on my radar, but I'm glad I checked it out. So if you are into other comic books that are, say, not your superhero based or your crime fiction and stuff like that, this is going to be a little bit more of a personal tale with a little bit of that horror edge. So if you guys were a fan of the Me You Love in the Dark, like Jesse and I was, I think it's going to kind of slide into that type of category. So it's going to be an interesting book. Maybe not for everybody, but I think it is definitely worth checking out.